What we're going to talk about is the content of your copy. And we're going to do that in two ways. We're going to change our copy into the sales video, and that's simpler than you think. And then we're going to actually use that same copy for a different product, right? For a different product. So first, let's kind of go into a few things, and then we'll dive into this. And this is just to this is for clarification, right? You typically are going to have the right to repurpose your sales copy. So if you're worried about, well, do I have the rights to do this? Do I have the rights to use my sales copy to sell something different? There typically is not going to be anything preventing you from doing that in the rights. It's never going to be spelled out. No one's ever going to say to you, you can, or yes you can, or no you cannot use your sales copy to sell something different. You're just not going to find it in there. You can assume that you do have the right. And if you're uncertain about that, contact the vendor, right? Contact the creator. But typically, no one's going to have a problem with you taking your copy, the copy that you get in your PLR, and using it to sell something else for your own purposes. Now, having said that, right, you typically don't have the right to sell the right to use the sales copy. So in other words, unless you have explicit right, you're rarely going to get inside of the package the right to give someone else the right to use that sales page or that sales copy. So don't assume that you have that right unless it's spelled out specifically. And if it's not spelled out specifically, do ask if you really feel like that's something you want to do. Typically, that's not the spirit of PLR. Right? The spirit of a master resale rights product is typically not going to be that you can give somebody else the right to then reuse that sales copy. Right? So that's just a point of clarification. It's necessary to say here at the outset. You should, though, be able to use your sales copy, whatever you get from the PLR, you should be able to use that in multiple ways. Right? And one of the first things we want to do is we can then just take this sales copy and turn it into a sales video, right? If you don't have a sales video, right, it's very almost simple, and we've done part of the process before, and I'm going to do part of it again. Basically, if we go inside of our copy, right, our sales copy, and I'm just going to open up a sales copy bundle that's part of a PLR product. I'm going to stop this sales video. And basically, I'm just going to take this headline. Right, I'm just going to copy that headline. And it's even better, right, if I get this in another format. If I get it in Microsoft Word, it's going to be even easier to do this. But we've already done part of this process. We're going to turn this into an outline, right? So I'm going to do part of this manually here. But again, you know, as much as you have automated, as much as you already have it, you're going to want to use it in that way. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, where's my Microsoft Word? We just want to find it here. Okay, so we're just going to open up a new document. I'm going to start the process, and I'm going to paste it. Right, I'm not going to paste it in the same format. I'm just going to paste it in this format because we really don't have to have it in any particular format. Just going to continue to get inside of my sales copy here. Right, there are probably easier ways to do this, but you just kind of want to get all of your sales copy it, and put it inside of your document. Again, really simple. Right, again, I'm just going to paste it, keeping the text only. And I'm going to make sure I do get everything. Right now, I'm not trying to get the images. I don't care about those, but I do want to make sure I get all of the copy. Right, and again, I'm not going to then. I'm not going to be using it by changing the font or anything like that. I want it all the same font, very simply to kind of get everything. Right, now this sales page is actually laid out fairly easy for me to use. But I think I can get the rest of it all by itself. Right, I think I can get just about everything. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to copy this in, and I'm going to make sure that I don't keep any of the formatting. Right, I think that's just about everything. All right, that's about everything. Again, we haven't done anything tricky when we did this. We just pretty much laid this out so that we have all the copy. Now again, we've done this before, but what we're now going to do is we're going to go to the outline view, right? So we're just going to go to the view area. And then we're going to go and click the outline draft. Right, so now what we want to do is we just want to make sure all of this is going to be lined up with one point. So I'm going to make sure each little thing is on one line. What I want to do is I want to break these up. Right, I don't want a lot of text on any one line, because basically I'm going to narrate this, right, or I'm going to have somebody narrate it. And I want it to read just like a script. And remember, this is how it's going to look inside of PowerPoint, right, when we actually do our sales video script. So we're trying to get everything on one line, and if possible, we don't want a lot of text on any one line. So we're just going to go through all the text. We're going to eliminate long sentences like this one. I'm going to break this right in half. I'm not necessarily all that concerned about where it breaks. I just don't want a lot of text on any one line. And for the most part, we've now got our text inside the outline view. Right? Let's see, we've got a little more here. Let's break this one up. And we're going to just kind of continue until we get everything on one line. Okay, so now we have our entire outline on one line, right? Everything's now on one line. And we're going to go ahead and save this document. So let's save this. Sales video. And now we've got our content, right? So now what do? Well, now we're just going to close up this document. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open up PowerPoint. Right? We're going to open up a new PowerPoint. And you should remember this process by now, right? So what we're going to do is we're now going to go into the view area. We're then going to go into the slide master, right? We're going to go all the way to the top. What we're going to do is we're going to take this title bar and bring it down to the middle. We're then going to close out this information. We can take out this information if we don't need it. Okay, we're going to make sure this centers inside of Word. So we're going to center this, this text. And so now we have our template. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close the master view. And basically then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the new slide drop down. We're then going to get our slides from the outline, right? And we're going to go and pick up the presentation that we just did. Right, and now we have our sales video, right? Or we have a script. What we can do now is we can take this script and we can read it. And you can see now why, you know, if you can, what you want to do is you want to make sure that none of these, your sentences are too long. Now, these are some of the sentences that we just missed. But you generally want to make sure a sentence this long is broken up so that it appears on 2 slides instead of 1, right? This is probably too much text for 1 slide. All this is going to be too much text for 1 slide. So when you do this, you want to make sure that you go back and then make sure that your outline doesn't have all of these long sentences, because they're going to end up being long on the slide. All right, does that make sense, everybody? So you with me so far? Okay, so now we're going to have to do some editing, right? But for the most part, there is our sales video script, right? We can then save this. Wherever we save it, I'm just going to pick a place to save the document. And all we're going to need to do is, when we have our presentation software, or we have our whether we're using Camtasia or whether we're using Screencast-O-Matic, we're going to click Slideshow. And then we're going to scroll through this slideshow as if it were a sales video, right? Okay, any questions? Right, and then obviously what we can do is, if you have the script to a sales video, right? If you have the script to a sales video, you're going to do the other process backwards, right? Let's say you don't have a sales page, right? One of the easiest ways to get one is to get your sales video. And obviously what you're going to do is you're just going to play out the sales video.
Are you always struggling to get things done?
Right, so here is your sales video. Right, now again, this is going to be a little more challenging because you don't have a script. And so you're going to have to do frame by frame in order to get the actual text. Now, we're not going to go through this process, but basically, this is going to be faster in many cases than writing your own sales letter. And all we're really doing here is we're scrolling through the text, and we're just going to write down each slide. Right, and again, if you don't have a script, that's where this gets challenging, because you're going to have to do this manually. But you're basically going to do backwards everything that we just did. You're going to then take this information and you're going to lay it out into your text document. Right? Any questions about that? Okay, what we're now going to do is probably going to be, if there's anything that's going to be challenging about tonight, it's going to be the next thing that we do. And what we're going to do is we're now going to take the sales copy, and we're now going to repurpose this for another product, right? So let's pick up the sales copy that we have. Now, basically what we're trying to do here is, if you have PLR, you have a number of different sales pages. What you want to do is you want to think about what those products are selling, right? Because if you know what the products are selling, you can interchange some of the sales letters. So in some cases, I want you to think about this. Let's say that what you want to do is you want to make your copy original for a product on productivity. Well, what you can do is you can take any product that you have sales copy on productivity and use the sales copy in order to fill in for your new product. So for example, in this sales letter that we're looking at, I'm going to size this up here. Let's zoom in some so you can see it. I think 200 is a little bit too much. Let's go maybe 175. Okay. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to match purposes, right? Because we don't have to worry so much about the particular product. All we're doing is using the copy, right? So for example, we're probably not going to sell a product on productivity hacks, right? Maybe what we're selling is, it says even the experts admit these are their go-to productivity hacks. Well, look, maybe what we're selling is we're going to be selling some kind of software to help people to become more productive. And so we're going to use this copy by saying this is, this is their go-to method to achieve massive results in less time without suffering any burnout, right? Again, we're just reusing the copy. Are you always in a constant struggle to finish your work or project? Now, can we use that as is? I think we can use that as is, right? We can use that for anything that we're selling for productivity, be it in your workplace or the personal project that you're doing. Once again, we can leave this copy as is. We can sell this, or we can change some of the words, but we can reuse this copy for anything. Would you agree? Anything on productivity, we can use that on. Or you just can't seem to finish all those projects within deadlines. Once again, we can use this copy to sell anything that we have on productivity. Or worse, did you finish them within deadlines, right? The quality of your work or deliveries just doesn't match the expectation or the expectation of your manager or boss, right? Maybe you might adapt this for entrepreneurs or whoever your niche is. And as a result, you suffer serious burnout. Well, maybe if the point of your product is not burnout, right? Maybe it's loss of income, right? You suffer lower income, lower production, and as a result, lower income. Right? Okay, if you experience any one of these, you're not alone. Once again, we can leave that in. Right? It's a problem that affects billions of people around the world. We can leave that in. But have you ever wondered, we might say wondered, that's not great English there, but we might say, have you ever wondered what makes some people very productive while some aren't? Right? So what you're doing is you're basically trying to determine what it is you're selling, and you're going to match purposes. And what you want to do is you want to keep track of your sales letters and what they're actually saying. Because again, most copy that you get in your PLR product is going to be interchangeable. And if you find that writing the copy is going to be challenging, all you're going to do is go and get a PLR product with a matching purpose, and you're going to use that copy in order to sell what you are selling, right? Well, look no further. You're just a step away from accessing, you wouldn't say their secrets, you'd say accessing a special piece, a special piece of software used by some of the world's most productive achievers. Right? Now, maybe you couldn't say that, or maybe you'd say a special type of software used by, right? A special type of software or category of software used by productive achievers such as Tim Ferriss, Cal Newport, and Brian Tracy, right? With your permission, allow me to introduce you to whatever your product name is. Your product. So here's what this means. Let's say that you have a project that you need to do. What you need to do, instead of starting with a blank screen, is you need to go and get any of your sales copy where you have something that's going to match the purpose or match what you're selling. And you are then going to take that copy and then you're going to use it so that, again, you can then have it working for you in your own business, right? So again, all we're doing is, and I'm not going to go through all this, but all we're doing is we're just going to keep the sales copy that's going to help us, and we're going to get rid of the sales copy that's not going to help us. Right now, so that's the sales video. And of course, once you have this written into your sales video, into your sales copy, all you're going to do is you're going to take those same steps in turning it into a sales video. Now, in some cases, what happens to many marketers is that they are users of WordPress, and then they have HTML sales pages, right? And so sometimes this can be a little bit challenging if you are going to use all of that information, but you want to continue to have it on your WordPress site. Now, obviously, if you're going to do it quickly, you're not going to worry about reusing or changing this into being on your WordPress site. But if for some reason that you have to, again, all you're really going to do is you're really going to reuse all of the copy and paste it into your sales page on WordPress. Now, one of the things that you don't want to do is, I have seen this as a solution where, for example, you might get all of the code, right? We might go and we might grab all of the code associated with, a particular sales page. And what I will tell you is that nothing is going to happen where you're just not going to be able to just take all of this information and drop it inside of WordPress. Well, I'm going to copy all this right now. I'm just going to kind of show you what happens when we put this information inside of WordPress. Actually, let's go ahead and get it from the actual sales page. Right, so we're going to open this up with Dreamweaver. We're just going to grab all of the content, and we're going to put it inside of WordPress. And I can see ClickFunnels in here. I can see accessing a CDN. And so really, you really never really know what someone is using in order to create the sales page that they're giving to you. And so being able to transfer this into WordPress just by using the code can be challenging. You're probably going to end up having to do quite a bit of editing. And so it's always going to be the case that the easiest way to transfer this into your WordPress site is to be able to do two things. Number one is you want to have some kind of page builder, right? In this particular case, we can use OptimizePress, we can use InstaBuilder. Any kind of page builder where you can input the HTML or you can input text as it is going to be helpful to you. Now, for example, in OptimizePress, and again, I'm not particularly pushing OptimizePress. This is just the one that I use personally. What you're going to be able to do is you're just going to be able to go into a particular template, and based on that template, you're going to be able to write in instantly. You're going to be able to write in things that will help you. So for example, where you need to put in a headline, and again, all of this is going to be different depending on which page builder that you're using. Right, we go back and get our content, and we're just going to input this. We're going to make sure it centers, and we're just going to use the page default. Right, and then our headline comes out the way it's supposed to come out. Right, and then, of course, we're going to have a sales video. Right, so that means then we're going to be able to go get our sales video. We can then get the URL from that video. We can put that URL in here. We can have that video autoplay. Right, there's our sales video. Right, we can save it. Right, there's our sales video, right? And so basically, if you notice then that, Chrome does not autoplay videos, so if you have some kind of code where you can get the video to autoplay, you can do that. But basically, what we're doing is we're relaying out the sales page in our own template, right? In this case, OptimizePress has a blank template, and all we're really doing is we're relaying the content in the way that we want it to do. And you want to use a page builder so that you don't have to work with the HTML, right? Now, if you're adept with HTML and you want to go back and use your HTML pages, I mean, certainly that's going to be helpful to you. However, if you're going to relay out the content, the best thing to do is to start with your page builder and to lay out your content piece by piece.